Let's just give the chance for the room to fill up. All right, attendees are coming in. All right, Irfan.
Good evening. Welcome to Bogota Board of Education reorganization meeting. According to the Bogota Board of Education bylaws 151, reorganization meeting, as the board secretary of the board, Bogota Board of Education, the org meeting is called to order on Tuesday, January 4th, 2022 at 7 p.m. Vice Board of Faxel, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Open public meeting announcement. The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interests is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of this act, the Bogota Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting to be published by having the date, time, and place thereof posted in the Bogota Borough Hall, communicated by letter to the record, filed with the clerk of the Borough of Bogota, and posted on the Bogota Board of Education website. Now the results of the election, which is held November 2nd, 2021 for the 3-year term. The candidate, Frank Miranda, at poll 651, mail-in 213, provisional 22, early voting 35, early provisional 1, and total vote of 922. Susan Cruz at poll 602, mail-in 216, provisional 21, early voting 38, early provisional 1, and total of 878 votes. Roberto Alvarez at polls 527, mail-in 180, provisional 16, early voting 29, early provisional 1, and total of 753 votes. We have also personal choice at polls 12, mail-in 11, provisional 0, early voting 2, early provisional 0, total of 25 votes. The number of polling places were 3, District 1 and 6 at Bogota Recreation Center, 162 West Main Street, District 2 and 3, Bogota High School Gymnasium at 2 Henry C. Luton Place, District 4 and 5, E. Roy Bixby Elementary School at Maplewood Fisher Avenue. All polling places were open at 6 a.m. and closed at 8 p.m. According to the election results, Mr. Frank Miranda, Ms. Susan Cruz, and Mr. Roberto Alvarez were elected for a 3-year term. Congratulations to all newly elected board members.
Congratulations.
Our office received approval of background criminal history check for newly elected board members. Now it's time to oath of the office. Unfortunately, this year we're again remotely, but we can do all together. I will virtually hold the Bible and raise your hand. And please repeat after me, Mr. Miranda, Mr. Alvarez, and Ms. Cruz. I say your name, do solemnly swear or affirm
I, Roberto
I,
Alvarez,
Susan
Cruz,
solemnly
do
swear
solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will
I will
support
support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and that I will
I will
bear
bear
true
true
faith
faith and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established in the United States and this state,
and to the
governments
governments established in the United States
and
and
this state,
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
of the people.
So help me God.
So help me God.
I, please your name, say your name, and do solemnly swear or affirm
I do.
I, Susan Cruz, do solemnly swear or affirm
solemnly swear or affirm
that I possess the qualification prescribed by law for the office of member of a board of education,
That I
that I
possess
possess
the
the
qualifications prescribed by the law
for the office of member of the
of Board of Education,
and that I am not disqualified as a voter pursuant to RS 19-4-1,
and that I am not
disqualified
disqualified
as a voter pursuant to
RS
RS 19-4-1,
nor disqualified due to conviction of a crime or offense listed in NJSA 18A12-1,
nor
disqualified due to conviction of a crime
or
or
offense
offense
in
Let's-
NJSA
18A12-1,
and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of that office according to the best of my ability.
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially, and
and
justly perform all the duties of that office according to the
according to
best
the
of my ability,
So help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations. I'm going to send you this required oath to be signed. It will be in your package next time, so please sign and will mail back to me. So the next is the roll call. Mrs. Alvarez,
Present.
Mr. Alvarez,
Present.
Mr. Chavez,
Present.
Ms. Cruz,
Present,
Mrs. Coles,
Here.
Mr. Miranda,
present.
Mrs. Oliva,
You're muted.
Present.
Mr. Ortega,
Present.
Ms. Rocket.
Present.
We have the full board. We also have Mr. Kennedy, our superintendent, Mr. Sukas, our board attorney, myself, board secretary, and Elizabeth Ruiz, our assistant board secretary. The next, we have the board member code of ethics. A school board member shall abide by the following code of ethics for school board members. A, the board member will uphold and enforce all laws, rules, and regulations of the State Board of Education and court orders pertaining to schools. Desired change shall be brought about only through legal and ethical procedures. B, the board member will make decisions in terms of the educational welfare of children and will seek to develop and maintain public schools that meet individual needs of all children, regardless of their ability, race, creed, sex, or social standing. C, the board member will confine the board action to policymaking, planning, appraisal, and will help to frame policies and plans only after the board has consulted those who will be affected by them. D, the board member will carry out the responsibility not to administer the schools, but together with fellow board members to see that they are well run. E, the board member will recognize that authority rests with the Board of Education and will make no personal promises nor take any private action that will compromise the board. F, the board member will refuse to surrender independent judgment to special interests or partisan political groups, or to use the schools for personal gain or for the gain of friends. G, the board member will hold confidential all matters pertaining to the schools, which, if disclosed, would needlessly injure individuals or the schools. In all other matters, the board member will provide accurate information and, in concert with the fellow board members, interpret to the staff the aspirations of the community for its schools. H, the board member will vote to appoint the best qualified personnel available after consideration of the recommendation of the Chief Administrative Officer. I, the board member, will support and protect school personnel in proper performance of their duties. J, the board member will refer all complaints to the Chief Administrative Officer and will act on the complaints at public meetings only after failure of an administrative solution. According to the NJAC 6832-3 and our bylaws 142, acknowledgement of the receipt will be signed by all the board members. Please sign it, which will be in your package and return to our office. And the next, election of president of the Bogota Board of Education. According to our bylaws 152 board officers, any member may place a member's name in nomination. A second is not required. Election for each office will be conducted by a vote when the nominations for that office are closed. The candidate receiving a majority vote of the members of the board present and constituting a quorum will be elected to office. The floor is now open to receive the nominations for the office of president of the Bogota Board of Education.
I nominate Mr. Frank Miranda for board president.
I would like to second that, Ortega.
Any additional nominations? Hearing no additional nominations, the floor is now open for a motion to close the nominations. May I have a motion to close the nominations?
Motion
Anita.
closed.
Motion Chavez.
Coles and Alvarez. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any
Aye.
opposed?
Aye.
Okay. And again, according to the 152, voting shall take place by verbal roll call vote after nominations are closed. There's no more than one person, so I'm going to ask for each one of you for your vote, please, for Mr. Miranda. Mrs. Alvarez?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes.
Mr. Chavez?
Yes.
Ms. Cruz?
Yes.
Mrs. Coles?
Yes.
Mr. Miranda?
Yes, thank you.
Frank, you're on mute.
Mrs. Oliva?
Yes.
Mr. Ortega?
Yes.
Ms. Ruckett?
Yes.
Mr. Frank Miranda is hereby elected as president of the Bogota Board of Education, and newly elected president assumes the chair. I am symbolically passing the gavel to you, Mr. Miranda.
Thank you. I'll take the virtual gavel. First, I just wanted, to thank everyone for your nomination. I mean, Jose and everyone else in your vote. Definitely proud to be elected to the position of board and honored president and honored to serve in this capacity. As everyone knows, I look forward to working with Damian Kennedy, superintendent, and my fellow board members to bring positive change and work together in enhancing our educational experience for all the children. and for our administrative staff and the educators of our district. As I know some of you, I would seek guidance for those who have sat here in the past, because as we know, it's always a learning experience. So thank you very much. And thank you to the community for re-electing me. And as I said, I'll ask for guidance. I think we move on to the election of Vice President of the Board of Education. Do I have any nominations?
I would like to nominate Miss BC Rocket for Vice President.
I'll second that nomination.
Are there any other nominations on the floor? So, Mr. Irfan, I guess we can have a roll call considering there are no other nominations. Do I have to close the nominations first?
Let me have a motion to close the nominations first.
Motion to close nominations, Coles?
Second Chavez.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Thank you. So I'm having the roll call right now for Mr. Record. Mrs. Alvarez,
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez,
Yes.
Mr. Chavez,
Yes.
Ms. Cruz,
Yes.
Mrs. Coles,
Yes.
Mrs. Olivo,
Yes.
Mr. Ortega,
Yes.
Ms. Record,
Yes.
Mr. Miranda.
Yes.
So Ms. Record is hereby elected as Vice President of the Bogota Board of Education. Congratulations.
Thank you all.
Congratulations, BC. They piled the work on us. Moving to action items, Resolution 1-4-2201 through Resolution 1-4-2209. May I have a motion?
Motion Olivo?
Second Chavez.
Mr. Irfan, may I have a roll call?
Any discussions or any questions by the board members? If not, I'm getting a roll call now. Mrs. Alvarez,
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez,
Yes.
Mr. Chavez,
Yes.
Ms. Cruz,
Yes.
Mrs. Coles,
Yes.
Mrs. Olivo,
Yes.
Mr. Ortega,
Yes.
Ms. Record,
Yes.
Mr. Miranda.
Yes,
Motion carried.
thank you. Moving on to Resolution 1-4-22-10, be it resolved that the board appoints a delegate to the Bergen County SBA and the New Jersey SBA through December 31st, 2022 as follows. I would personally, as I look back on the record, Mrs. Coles, I think you've been an alternate in the past. And you're probably the most experienced to continue as the primary delegate. Is that something that you would be interested in, or is any other board member interested in?
I'll be an alternate again, if you don't mind.
Okay, you said. Is there anyone else that would like to be the primary? Okay, so I will volunteer and just making sure. I would definitely volunteer to be the primary. And I guess I have a lot to learn. So Mrs. Coles, I'll reach out when I can in order to understand what it entails. If that's fair enough.
Okay.
Can I get a motion to adopt?
Motion Chavez.
Second Olivo?
Any discussion? Mr.
Is that
Irfan?
going to be for both and the SBA and the Bergen County SBA and the NJ SBA? That we're doing the same for both?
That's it seems. It looks like that. Mr. Irfan, we did not have any discussion. I guess we can have a roll call.
Yeah, sure. Mrs. Alvarez,
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez,
Yes.
Mr. Chavez,
Yes.
Ms. Cruz,
Yes.
Mrs. Coles,
yes,
Mrs. Oliva,
Yes.
Mr. Ortega,
Yes.
Ms. Rocket,
Yes.
Mr. Miranda.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Next, we move on to old business. Is there any old business the board would like to discuss? Mrs. Rocket, is that your hands up? Oh. Nothing? Moving on to new business. Is there any new business to be discussed? Or did anyone want to bring up? Okay, and I think we're moving on to hearing of the public. Do we have a motion to open hearing? to the-
Motion Ortega.
Second.
And Mr. Irfan, I think we can, and Mr. Kennedy, open up to the public, or do we have to roll call?
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So I have some hands up. I'm gonna call on you. Please remember, I can only see what you posted. So the first person is gonna be iPhone. Please state your name and your address.
And Mr. Kennedy, I believe they have 5 minutes, correct?
I believe so.
Correct.
iPhone,
George Nunez, 203 Central Avenue.
yes.
Happy, healthy new year to everyone. I would like to congratulate the newly elected officials on the Board of Ed, and also commend all of the Board of Ed members for your service to our community. It's very gratifying to see an incredibly diverse board for the first time. Certainly in the 20 years that I've been a resident in this community, I think it's a tremendous accomplishment. I think it's a tremendous opportunity for the community. I think you guys have big shoes to fill. In the 20 years that I've been a resident in this community, I have seen incremental progress from when my daughters started their education in the Bogota public schools to this date. We as parents have recognized that there's been progress every single year. I urge you to learn your roles as board members really, really well, so that you can stay within the boundaries of your responsibilities and not overstep those boundaries, because that would not be a good thing for anyone. I believe that you have big shoes to fill. The progress that our schools have experienced over the last 4 to 5 years, I think, has been pretty significant. And, hopefully your participation on the Board of Education will compound that progress and accelerate that progress for our community, while at the same time being good stewards of the resources that you are entrusted with. That's all that I have. Good luck. And I wish all of you lots of success in the coming year. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Anyone else?
Anyone else, please raise your hand, or you could type a question in the chat.
There's another hand, Mr. Kennedy.
Yep. Laura?
Good evening, everybody. It's Laura Ketchum, fifth grade teacher at Bixby School. Nice to see some new faces on the board and good luck to everybody. The job that you have to do is very difficult and time consuming, and I know the community appreciates your hard work. My question is, can you just tell me why you guys are virtual tonight?
Yes, because before the break, I actually tested positive for COVID and the numbers were increasing. So I had to make a decision before the New Year's Eve because we had to post for the public. We can't just post it 24 hours ahead of time. So I decided to go virtual for this meeting. We will be in person on the 18th. But that was my decision. I tested positive. I knew a few board members tested positive. I didn't know where we were going to be a week and a half ago. So the best thing for me to do was do this virtual. I knew we could definitely have it. All our faces could be seen. And then on the 18th, we'll be back in person in the cafeteria.
Okay, thank you. I just hope that the board members do recognize how difficult full day in-person education has been so far. We have cases, not just daily, but hour by hour, where the contact tracing has been very difficult and very time consuming. We are having our children unmasked in the classroom while they eat, and we are doing our very, very best to mitigate the safety issues. But it's still a tough call to say that it's okay with this Omicron going on to unmask for any period of time safely. It's just my opinion. And, you know, we're living through right now 8, 9, 10 kids out in a classroom. And so the only kids that are allowed to be virtual by the governor's rulings are the kids who are positive or have definitely been exposed. But we have other people optioning to stay home. And now we have 9 kids, maybe out of 23, who really aren't being kept up to speed. Where I believe we could have probably done this a little differently and maybe a little more safely. Just my opinion. Thank you, guys. And again, good luck this year.
Thank you. I mean, obviously, we are dealing with, you know, this is unprecedented times. Our staff, our administrators, our students, our teachers, our aides, custodians, IT, everyone is doing a tremendous job. We've always dealt with this pandemic from day one, doing what we can to do the best job that we can. And that's what we're going to continue to do. Our options are limited right now on what we can and cannot do. We don't have the option of doing some of the things that you're suggesting. So we made changes by not putting kids in the gym anymore for lunch and spreading out and doing every other row. So we're doing what we can. This is changing every day. And as soon as new guidance comes out and they give us guidance, the community and our staff will get it. So I'm confident in what we're doing. I'm confident in what our administration and teachers are doing. And I'm confident in our students that they overcome these times and they adjust properly like they've done since the onset. So we will continue to do what we can and move forward.
Thank you, Mr. Kennedy.
I got one more. Mike Connors. Mike Connors.
Mr. Connors?
Mike Connors' hand is raised. He's unmuted, but I can't hear him. I did have a question in the chat asking about what some of the changes are. So the big change that we made is that students are not eating lunch in the gyms anymore. where we were packing them all in. Now they're eating in their classrooms. We're spreading them out and every other row is eating. So 1 and 3 are eating lunch. Row 2 is keeping their mask on. So we're trying to prevent that. We're cracking windows a little bit, trying to get a little airflow. All the kids are seated forward, no more group work. We're stressing masking more now than ever. So it's not so much just a variant. This one is contagious and we're doing our best. Again, we're not seeing a lot of in-school transmission. All right, what we're seeing is this is the holiday break, right? So it's interesting. A few of us got it the week before the holiday break, and now we're back. And some people got it the week of holiday break, and they're coming back at the end of the week. So we're monitoring it. We're in constant conversations with our HARP specialist at Hackensack Medical. I'm in constant conversations with the surrounding superintendents. I know of, I think 99% of Bergen County schools are full day in session. So we're going to do our best to keep schools open because we feel that's what's best for our students and our community at this time. And Mike Connors has said congrats to all tech issues.
I'd suggest, Mr. Kennedy, that whatever we have, whatever questions we have on the chat be read verbatim into the record, just to keep the record clear. That's typically
All right. It was from Asima Lena. She did not put an address. If she could just type that address in too, we get that in the record. But she said, hi, my son is in 3rd grade at Bixby. Can you please tell me what specific changes have been made, as you just stated, to address this new variant?
And I see that she just posted her address as 230 Central Avenue.
Yes, thank you very much. Just please make sure that you put your address in. And this is from Wilnina. I'm a parent of 3 kids. I've tested positive and kids are kept home for quarantine, but I'm concerned about when they go back. Can I option them to keep them home for safety? If you just tested positive right now, they got to stay home for 14 days. We're hoping in the next 3 weeks that this is going to slow down because of the holidays, but you can keep them home. I can't stop you from keeping anyone home. But if you have just tested positive, please contact your schools and they will make sure those students can access virtual instruction. I listened to the governor talk the other day. This was not an option yet. We're hoping if more cases arise in other districts, that students will be able to stay at home if that's an option for them. But at that time, right now, that is not an option. And that address was 111 Gray Street. Oh, it was Connors. Another one, Carmel.
Hi, yes. Happy New Year to everybody. Carmel Burney, 162 East Fortley Road. Congratulations to all the new board members and the elected president, vice president. I want to thank you, Mr. Kennedy, for working through this virus once again. Will we ever see the end of it? That's what the kids are asking. But thank you for working through it and making the adjustments. My son came home and told me about what was going on, and I very much appreciate it. What the kids lost last year in 2020 and 2021, being home and going virtual, I hope can be made up. I saw the test score my son had on the testing that was done earlier in the year, this year, and the scores were really low, you know, almost on a 5th grade level in some of the subjects. Thankfully, this first marking period, being back in school, he worked through it and made honor roll. So it's so important for the kids to stay in school. And I think with the masks on and all the, precautions taken, I think they're going to do really well. So let's just keep pushing through and we'll get through this, everybody together. So thank you.
Thank you.
Kennedy, anyone else?
Wait, hold on. I don't see anyone else. If I missed it, I don't see anyone else.
Can I have a motion to close public comments?
Motion Olivo?
Second Chavez.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone have anything to say to the public?
Can I talk? So I wanted to just take a moment to thank everyone. I've lived in Bogota my entire life. I look forward to serving our community and serving the children. And I just wanted to thank everybody for the opportunity.
Thank you, Robert. Anyone else? I just wanted to wish everyone a happy new year, a happy and healthy new year. I know we have some challenges ahead of us, if not many. We're all a bit confused in knowing what the next steps are as we're guided by the government, by the CDC, and by our own community. I do ask everyone, including our board members and our families, that we preach responsibility, right? That we try to do the best we can, because ultimately it's about keeping our children safe. Mr. Kennedy and everyone else, I just wanted to thank you for all you do, and just wish everyone a happy and more than ever a healthy new year. And hopefully this is the end of it. And you know, I know we all love our community, and that's why we serve it. And I wish all our board members a healthy new year, and hope that anyone who's still ill gets better, and good luck. And thank you, everyone. I truly appreciate all of you. Thank you so much. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn, Coles.
Second, Idalia.
All in favor?
Aye.
Everyone, have a great night. Good night. Great
Good
week.
night, everybody.
Everybody.
Everyone.
Hi, everybody.
Good night, everyone.